What is your occupation?
Art teacher.
Okay. Did you always wish to be an art teacher?
I guess probably since middle school is when I started considering it, and when I realized I couldn't live in my parents' basement, like long term, I thought I needed to do something, so it seemed like the best option.
What classes do you teach at Bayport?
Mostly all the two-dimensional courses, so drawing, painting, occasionally I'll teach Art 1, and then the advanced level 2D courses, so advanced 2D, the AP 2D.
Do you believe that art is an important part of a child's education?
Yeah, it's especially for like well-rounded. You know, a lot of subjects you don't really tackle things like brainstorming, creative process, like thinking, planning out kind of a series of ideas and designs. So it's definitely important, even if people aren't interested in arts in particular, just to kind of like train their brain to work in different ways and just process, their thoughts, things like that. Well, there's a lot of different ways you could do that. Some of the options are just taking courses outside of an education. So even if you don't go on to college, there's community programs you can join. There's, like ceramics. You can get involved in different studios. You can rent space, and there's different art studio space you can rent. There's different art studio space you could rent, or even just like going on YouTube, looking up tutorials. A lot of students will learn how to do art that way. But then there's everything from taking a class here or there in college, or actually going on in the arts full time.
What programs did you do for college to get where you are now?
Well, you major in education, so even though most of what you're doing is art related, you have to go through the whole education program, learning kind of how people think, how they process things, and how they learn. And then you minor in art yourself, as far as like learning how to make art projects, use materials, things like that. And then part of the process is combining those two into how you actually teach someone to do them. And then the last phase is student teaching, where you have a whole semester where you're in a school with another teacher kind of shadowing them, and then gradually kind of taking over, trying it out, being a teacher while you're still technically a student, but you're in a school the whole semester.
How many years of schooling did you need for your job?
I think if you took a normal amount of courses, it takes about 4 years for your like major and minor, and then the student teaching is an extra semester added on, so about 4.5. But I think on average, students get out between 4 and 5 years. So.
Was the college that you went to local?
Well, it wasn't local to where I grew up. I grew up in Milwaukee, but I went to school in UWGB, so coming here was like leaving home. So not local to where I was from, but local as far as where I'm teaching now. So.
How do you make most of the small budget for art supplies?
Luckily, this school has a really generous budget, so we can do really cool stuff like large paintings, and we can do use more professional type materials. So I think I haven't had to struggle like some districts where you don't really have options to finer art materials. We have an oil painting unit, and that's kind of expensive, and so. I guess you can, you still get creative in trying to find the best projects you can do with the cheapest materials, but we definitely don't have to struggle like a lot of people do.
In your opinion, could society live without art?
I guess we could probably live, but it'd be like anything else, like it'd be kind of boring, like if there's no music or theater or visual arts, or then you're kind of taking design out of things, and you could survive and just be really dull.
Do you have any advice for students?
Get your projects done and turn them in. That's my number one advice. Yeah. I don't know. Try new things. Take advantage of all the opportunities in high school, because there's like tons of classes you can try, so that you have an idea of what you want to do when you're done with school. Yeah.